Alright kiddos, so here guys, they're telling us that Kiara downloaded 264 pictures from her cell phone to her computer. Those pictures took up a total of 528 megabytes of space on her computer. Each picture took up the same amount of space. How many megabytes do 35 of those pictures take up? Alright kiddos, well first of all guys, if she had a total of 528 megabytes of space available, and she was able to save 264, that means that each picture roughly, or I might say, each picture takes up 2 megabytes. But, what is she doing here though? They're asking us, is that our answer? No. What they're asking us here, ladies and gentlemen, if each picture takes up 2 megabytes, how many would 35 take up? So 35 times 2, and that would give you all 70. Alright, the next one here. A pencil holder shaped like a triangular prism is shown in the picture below. I'm sorry. There we go. Okay. The height of the pencil holder is 12 centimeters. So that's the height. Remember guys, your bases are always parallel and they are congruent. Same size, same shape. And the height is the distance between those two spaces. So there's my base, one of my bases, and that is my height there, okay? So now what the question is asking us, what is the area of the base? Area of the base of the pencil holder in square centimeters. I'm sorry guys, and that also tells us that the volume is 216 centimeters. So we know we're working with a triangular prism, and we're working with volume. So looking at y'all's star chart, y'all see that the formula for the volume of a prism is volume is equal to the area of the base times the height. What information are they giving us here? They gave us the volume and they've given us the height. So we need to rearrange or manipulate this formula to solve for the area of the base. How can I isolate the area of my base? Well, by doing inverse operations. What's the opposite of multiplying the area of my base times my height? Dividing it by my height. What I do to one side, I do to the other side. So we can rewrite that formula as the area of the base is equal to the volume divided by the height. Here kiddos, they've given us the volume, which is 216 centimeters cubed divided by the height, and that gives you, that means that the area of the base is equal to 18. Let's see here, 18 centimeters squared, since we're working there. Number 23. Stephanie has 3 3/4 bags of soil to put in her garden. Each bag of soil will cover 125 3/10 feet squared. How many square feet will Stephanie be able to cover if she uses all these bags of soil? There's several ways of solving this, kiddos. I know y'all have a fraction there, y'all have decimals there. So, I mean, either way will work. Y'all can convert 3 3/4 into a decimal, or 125 3/10 into a fraction by putting it over 1. But looking at your answer choices here, kiddos, guys, they're all decimals. So my suggestion would be to convert it into a decimal. But ultimately, it's whatever y'all feel best with. So here, ladies and gentlemen, 125 3/10 times 3 3/4 into a decimal, kiddos. Y'all can convert it into an improper fraction. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 plus 3 is 15/4. And you guys can divide those two. I mean, y'all, I know this is an easy one, but I'm showing you guys a process just in case y'all didn't. So y'all should know that that is equivalent to 3.75. Think of money. And you don't need to line your decimals, guys. However, you must account for your place values. And when y'all multiply those two, kiddos, guys, you all will get letter A as being your answer choice. Excuse me. Number 24. Alright. The angle measures of a triangle are shown in the diagram. What is the value of x? Alright, kiddos, so what do we know about all 3 angles in a triangle? That they all sum up, or that they all add up to 180 degrees. So y'all can do this. 2x plus 50 plus 3x minus 10 is equal to 180. Combine like terms, ladies and gentlemen. You have a variable there, a variable there. They're both positives, so we have a total of 5x. Let's add our numbers here. 50 minus 10 is 40 equals 180, subtract 40 from both sides. And once you all solve for that, ladies and gentlemen, you all will end up getting that number 24. The answer is J. X is equal to 28. Okay. And if they were to ask you, like, what does that angle measure right there? You just substitute 20 for X. So in this case, that angle would measure 2 times 28, which would be 56. That's the measure of that angle, okay? Just in case if they were to ask you that way. Number 25. An artist is making a scale model of a statue. On the model, 2 inches represents 1 foot on the actual statue. Which graph best represents this relationship? And that's other information that they gave us here, guys. Alright, so there's a lot of ways of doing this, ladies and gentlemen. I know that we all have our own ways of doing it. But one of the ways that maybe y'all could do this is by creating a table. Here we have a table. Alright, we can label this our X, and this is our Y. Look at your X-axis, guys. That's representing the model size. So on the model, ladies and gentlemen, 2 inches represents 1 foot on the actual on statue size in feet. So there's our first order pair. But look at our values here. They're going by 4s. So let's go ahead and go by 4s as well. So when X equals 4, Y equals 2. When X equals 8, Y equals 4. And we can go one more. When X equals 12, Y equals 6. So when y'all look at that, ladies and gentlemen, those order pairs can be found on letter C. Number 26. They're telling us that the circle graph shows how Tremaine divided his time on the computer last week. Tremaine used the computer a total of 30 hours last week. How many hours did Tremaine use a computer to play games? I'm sorry. How many more hours did Tremaine use a computer to play games than to do research? There's a lot of things here, kids, guys. So make sure you all read the questions carefully and y'all understand what they're asking y'all. So in this situation here, we know that there's a total of 30 hours. That's a number of hours that he was online last week. But I'm changing my font size here to make it a little bigger. That's a little better. Okay. So they're asking us. Well, first of all, we need to find out how many hours he spent playing video games. So X, we can do a proportion here. If you look at the graph here, kiddos, guys, we know that he spent 25 out of the 100%, or 25% of his time playing video games. So we can set it up as a proportion to find out how many hours. Remember, it's part over whole is equal to percent over 100. So here we cross and multiply. And once y'all do that, kiddos, y'all will find out that he spent a total of, let me do it over here, 7 5/10 or 7.5 hours playing video games. That's playing games. Is that my answer? No, it's not, because we still have to find out how many hours he spent using doing research. So we can set up another proportion. Once again, guys, it's a total of 30 hours. We're trying to find out what part of that was was doing research. So on the graph, we know that 5% was spent doing research. So once you all cross multiply, you all will find out that he spent an hour and a half doing research. So minus the 1.5 hours doing research. So he spent 6 more hours playing video games than doing research. And I'm sorry about that, guys, because like when I changed the size over here to try to be neater, it kind of throws me off a little. Alrighty, so we got that one right there. Alright, so next one, number 27. What is the solution to this equation? Alrighty, kiddos, guys. So I mean, equations, I know that y'all are pretty fluent in those, but I'm just gonna go over it. So we're trying to isolate our variable. It's not by itself. So we do inverse operations. What is the opposite of a positive 17.56 or 17/5600ths? Minus or negative 5600ths. What I do to one side, I do to the other side. And when y'all do it, you'll end up getting 12 6/10 being equal to 5x. Now, what is the opposite of multiplying x by 5? Dividing by 5? what I do to one side, I do to the other side, ladies and gentlemen, and you all end up establishing that x is equal to 2.52. And if for some reason, guys, you all just have, like, let's say y'all just go, your mind goes blank or whatever, because sometimes we have those moments. I don't like teaching y'all this, but you all can substitute that value, or your answer choices, I'm saying right there, into the equation, guys, and y'all can plug it in, and they should equal to each other, okay? I don't like teaching y'all that, but just in case y'all have one of those moments.